Hey guys, welcome back to Tamiya Legends, and once again, thank you for stopping by. So I actually wasn't going to make a video today. I was just going to transfer the electrics out of the TTR2 into the TB-01. My job today basically is to get the TB-01 up and running and to hopefully get out tomorrow and make a rally video with it. So I was just going to do it off camera, as it were, but then I thought, well, no, because you guys may have never seen the TB-01 chassis and how it goes together. So I thought we'll stick the camera on and we'll do it. So it's going to be a little bit more laid back, this one. So my job today is to do as little as possible, basically. So I finished with the TT-01. It's got Spectrum radio gear in it. So I need to whip the, I'm going to leave the motor and speed controller in it, but I'm going to take the servo and receiver out. We're going to fit that into this car with the Hobby Wing. I tell a lie, we'll take the speedo out as well, because this is only going to be running a standard 540 motor. I've got a new one behind me, so I'll stick standard 540 in it, TB-01 I think it is, and the Spectrum radio gear. Because this chassis, it's almost 20 years old now, so you might not have seen it before, and I really like this chassis. The only other thing we've got to do is charge some batteries up as well, because we're running the DTR2 tonight, running the Tamiya RZ Super Stock 23 turn brush motor. So it's just like GPS runs. So I need to get a 7.2, 2S and 3S charged up for that. So I'll show you that, and I'm also going to show you a little bit of sort of channel insight onto how I publish my videos, because my videos are kind of different every time. And I'll show you just how far in front I am, which might really surprise you. Anyway, first step now is we'll whiz the radio, as I say, we'll whiz it out of here, and then we'll start it on the TB-01. Right, so as I said, TTR2 is filthy, but I've finished with this car for now. I've got big plans for it, but that's for a different video. So as I say, we'll just whiz this radio gear out now. I'll leave the motor in, but we need to get the receiver, speedo and servo out, and I also need to have a look at the switch on the speedo, because I think it's got a lot of grit in it. So let's whiz that out now. Right, so that's the gear out. I thought it actually was running a different servo, but it's running a Tactic TSX40 metal gear servo. So that's plenty good enough for what I want. It's a pretty quick one. As I say, standard TB-02S. Switch is a little bit tough, but it's free enough. I'm just going to drop a little bit of oil down in there. In fact, I might not have to. That's freed up perfectly now. And what else? And then obviously we're running the SRX 200. I'll just show you the transmitter. It's a cheap Spectrum STX 2, but I like it. It does the job. So that gear's ready to go. The car itself is in a little bit of a sorry state and now needs a lot of work, but as I say, that's going to go back on the shelf for now. So let's dig the TB-01 out. The last video on this, when I got it, this looks quite different from what you'd be sort of used to now, the TT-01s and 2s. So let's whiz the body shell off and see. So straight away you can see it has this dust cover, which is pretty unique. Velcroed on. And that's a little bag of goodies. That's just a motor heatsink, servo horn and a pinion. So we'll have a look at that in a bit. But that's the actual chassis. Let's bring this down a little bit for you. So that's what it looks like. And this is a very, very clean one. I was chuffed with getting this. So, as I say, first job is going to be fitting the 540 motor, and to do that we've got to take this top deck off, which is just 4 screws, and then we've got another 6 screws to take this section off, and then under there is the motor mount. So we'll dig a new 540 out and we'll get it to this stage and then have a look from there. Right, so as I said, top brace comes off, 4 screws, and then we're left with this. So I've slackened this off, and we just take that off. Oop, that screw's not all the way out. And that comes off like that. And that's what we're left with. So it's got a plastic motor mount, which is not ideal, I know. So the plastic is on 2 screws. Just whiz those out quickly. I was actually happy that this had the motor mount with it because I actually couldn't see it, and I had a horrible feeling that it might be missing, but it's not. Right, that's that screw out. Okay, to fall out. So that's what we're left with, and then in theory this motor plate just lifts up and then slides, and that's the motor plate. It's quite substantial, it's hard plastic. And obviously we've got the drivetrain there with the spur gear, and the spur gear looks in great condition. Has this little bit here which is on a, put it at more of an angle you might see it. This is on a bearing, and this locates into here. So let me just get this right way around. So if you turn that with your finger and hold it in position, that slides on first into position, and then obviously that just tucks down with the 2 screws. So let's dig. I'll tell you what we'll do now as well. We'll get the wheels off of it so we can work on it a little bit better. So let's do that. So putting a brand new 540 in it, which is going to be plenty enough for this. Now it's got an 85 tooth spur on it, which I believe is completely standard, I would have thought. And as I say, the pinion it came with is a 19 tooth. And it's the correct pitch. So I'm just going to go with this setup, 85 spur, 19 pinion. Got my motor screws with it. What else is now this is going to take a little bit of messing around because there's no pinion size numbers on the motor mount. So it's going to be just trial and error so I can get the correct one. Would have been a little bit easier if we've had some numbers on there. Anyway, let's have a mess around, get that motor in. So I just stopped, I'm just setting the distance up for pinion, and as I say, this is a pinion it came with, but it's a really narrow pinion. I never really noticed. If you look at it to the size of a kind of a standard pinion, it's almost 2 mil bigger. So my concern there is, if you can see, I don't know if you can see that properly, if I line that up on it, you know, there's like 1.5 mil of spur gear showing at either side, which I think's not going to be great for wear. So I'm going to dig this out. This one's the correct pitch. It's not marked up what tooth it is, but as I say, the one it came with was 19. I'm pretty certain, I've counted, but I always end up counting 2 or 3 times. I'm pretty certain that's a 21. So that will do. So I'll change those pinions over and now we'll get it mounted. Right guys, I don't want to brag or anything, but I got that right first time, which makes a change. I'll tell you what I do like, what's pretty cool. So that's how I got it set up. So I just went for the 2 centre ones. So what I've done, what you do is, as I say, it's got this bracket here, which is pretty cool. So if you line that up, and then it goes down, and obviously if you push it against it, you can just have a quick feel before putting the motor in place, that the pinion's in the right place, and then obviously just drop it down like that, and then that's absolutely cock on. I'm well chuffed with that. Right, motor in, bolted down. Might as well just put the heatsink on it. It's not going to do any harm, and it always looks good. One thing I just did notice, turn this round, the chassis has this huge cutout in it, which kind of looks like it's been bodged, but that's absolutely standard. But for these sort of rally videos, it kind of seems a little bit daft when they've sealed the top of the chassis with that cover, and then they've got this big gaping hole which is going to let a load of dust in. So when I come to run it, I'll probably just stick a bit of tape over that. I think just to be on the safe side. So in theory, that now goes like, come on, like that. There we go. So we've got 2, 4, 6 screws to bolt down, and then we'll put the brace on, and then that's the motor in. So just looking at this, I'm going to just keep the brace off for now, until I get the wiring all in. So I've just fitted the battery in to make sure and see what space we've got, and obviously we don't have a great deal once the steering servo goes in, so we'll have to be quite clever with that. Interestingly, the steering mechanism can see that goes over the top of the prop shaft. So I've got the servo mounts in, so I'll slacken those off and we'll start setting the servo up and making sure everything's the right length. So obviously I had to use a servo horn from a TTO2, but that actually matched up with the servo server that was on the TB-01, which is always nice. So I put the brackets on the servo. It's kind of stepped at one side and further back. So I've just connected the battery, just switch the transmitter on, just centre the servo. Obviously I don't connect a motor, and then we've got that looks like steering. Let's turn the steering rate full up. There we go, that's better. So let's just trim the servo to the centre. Right, that's trimmed, so let's turn off and off. Right, let's, bloody hell. Right, let's get the servo in. Well, that was a little bit of a mission. I got the brackets completely wrong. Just shows you think you know what you're doing. And so I had to jump onto Tamiya.com and just download a couple of pages of the manual just to see which way around these brackets go. Anyway, it obviously paid off and the servo's now in. So if I just switch the transmitter on, power it up, as you can see, I've adjusted the steering rate. So that's pretty much cock on. So we're not left with a great deal of space. So I think we'll put the speedo here and the receiver hard up on its side. So let's do that now. Well, it's a bit cosy in here. So it's pretty much perfect really. It's just obviously I'm aware of a prop shaft, it gets pretty close, so we're going to have to get all the wiring over to this side, get it tie wrapped up and the motor wires out of the way. But it's not a big job. I'm just a bit concerned about that motor. That pin's bent. I'll just bend it slightly out gently. It keeps it more aware. What else is so I've probably don't know if I mentioned it before. I use this gel tape for sticking double-sided gel tape for sticking the electrics down. It's absolutely awesome. It gets such a grip. There's no movement in it. You can lift the car up with it, but when you come to take it off, just a little screwdriver very gently underneath, and it comes off really easy. And what I love about it, it doesn't leave any marks on the electrics of a chassis. You just peel it off and it's done. So let's get the wiring tidied up and get that brace fitted back on, and then we'll give it a final test. Right, just a little final test before turn the transmitter on, before I tie wrap it up for good. So I've got the majority out, but I just wanted to make sure the motors were in the right polarity. So forward and reverse. So we're happy with that. Right, let's get the final wiring sorted out. Right, so that's it guys, pretty much. I'm just going to turn on again and stick the dust cover on. I actually thought all this wiring would be in the way. I never looked at the dust cover. It's got loads of room. So that's how that fits. As you can see, there's loads of room inside. And we're all steering. Coolio. That took a little bit longer than I expected, I have to say. Anyway, it's pretty sweet. I kind of bodged the aerial a little bit. I didn't want it to come loose anyway, so I've wedged it in there. Obviously it'll be under the body, so pretty cool. Next thing I want to do, when the car's sitting, it's slightly further down on the back end, so I did notice there's a little bit of adjustment on this back shock. But to get a screwdriver into it, I'm just going to have to whiz this rear bumper off and then move the shocks up, and then we'll get the wheels back on and make sure the ride height's correct. I was just having a look at it and I'm just thinking, what an absolute great chassis the TB-01 was as standard. This is a totally standard car, fully ball raced, steel drive shafts, steel prop shaft. The diffs are super smooth. The drivetrain's super smooth. Adjustable camber links all round. Dust cover. You really got everything with this chassis. As I said, it wasn't just a Scuba, they did about 9 different body versions on this chassis. But I'm really looking forward to getting this out and about on the gravel and seeing what it can do, because it looks epic. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it drives. Right, that's another one ready to run. Oh, I love this car. I love this car. This is awesome, and I just love everything about it. Obviously the chassis as well. So the plan now is I'll be out tonight. I'll make the intro to this and we'll give it a quick blast on 2S, just round on tarmac and make sure everything sounds okay. And then tomorrow we'll try and get it out on the gravel. I found a new spot. As I said, where I took the last Scuba, it was too rough. Great for action stills and stuff, kicking up gravel and smoke and dust and what have you. But it was just too rough for it. And when it was sliding round in slow-mo, it was bouncing, which is no good. So I'm going to try this new location tomorrow for this one. So fingers crossed on that one. And when I'm out with this tonight on tarmac, I'll shoot the DTO2 GPS video as well for the RZ motor. So that's going to be pretty cool. Yeah, I'm loving this car. Anyway, that's it guys. So once again, thanks for watching. It's really appreciated. If you haven't smashed that notification bell already, please do. We publish a minimum of 2 videos per week. And as always guys, happy RCing.